Hello, I'm Catherine Dager, and I'm here to share some really great information and also to serve you. As business leaders, as people who work, and work teams are so important, this is what I'm passionate about, is to make sure that you love your work and that your work loves you. So I'm curious, business leaders, do you ever go out with your friends and you just pour your hearts out like it was like tavern talk? You just tell your friends all of the things that are frustrating you. Could it possibly be your employees are frustrating you, or you're just working so many hours, you're overwhelmed and you're not getting things done as fast as you need them to and your competition's gaining on you? I mean, these are things I hear all the time from businesses, and especially nowadays, because there's just so much competition in all different directions. So I'm going to ask you, if you're spending that much time, I have some great tips for you and some really great ways to engage your team in a much more positive direction. And also, I'm going to share 3 keys to putting your life and your business on a new, refreshing track. And at the end of this, I'm going to give you an opportunity to work closely with me and go for a deeper experience, because I've just created a gift. This to me is what I am on this planet to do, and that is to make the workplace a place where people can't wait to go every single day. So let's just take a look really quickly. What is your relationship with the individuals on your team? Are you sometimes acting like a parent and they're acting like children? Or sometimes are you the big star quarterback and you're doing it all by yourself? Or sometimes are you just micromanaging, where you're, hi Rob, where you're the only one getting it all done. And also that you're in some ways not trusting the team to do it. And this is one of the things that I notice a lot. In fact, the reason why I'm talking about this today is because I worked with a client today that was going through this. And I'm going to share with you what we did to completely shift it around. But what she was doing was what I would call, hi Ashley, nice to see you. So what she was doing was what I would call gunny sacking. And I don't know if you've ever seen a gunny sack. They're made out of burlap, but they used to be, they were actually World War II, but they used to just stuff them full of all kinds of clothes, and that was instead of having suitcases, they had gunny sacks. But tell you what, when we start gunny sacking our frustrations, when we start gunny sacking the information that hi Patrick, I'm Donna, hi. So when we gunny sack all of the frustrations and we don't share it, it starts to implode on our body, implode on our mind, and also everything gets reflected through the business. So I'm going to ask you, does your people on your team know what to expect of you? And do you have goals that make you come alive, or do you feel stuck in the weeds? So for me, having that stuck in the weeds feeling, again, there's no direction for the team. And what happens to a team and to a business without direction? And how much more could be gained if the team was really in alignment and supporting you to have incredible results? And here's the thing. Just by not knowing where you're going, that's number one thing. If you don't have a clear vision, it's really difficult for you to say, hey, we're heading over here. We get aimless. We start moving around like a ship. And one of my clients today, she was saying it was almost like she was smashing into the shore, not really having that clear vision. So we started working on that area. But here's the other thing. I've been working in this, and I want to tell you a little bit about myself. My expertise has been transforming companies into places where people really love to go to work every day. And for 32 years, I have worked with over, well, hundreds of companies. Some of them are large and some of them are family owned. And what I always find out first is, what do they really want to have happen? And it's amazing how many companies don't really have a clear vision. So and when we start to get everyone aligned behind the vision, amazing things happen. If you can imagine, if people want to double their sales and they start asking their staff, what are your ideas? What could we do? And guess what? They get ideas. So here's what I've been really focused on too. I have a beautiful business partner, Danielle Isaac, and for the last 32 years as Profitivity, I've been out doing this all by myself, woohoo, and having a great time and also having tremendous results. And now we are focused on taking all of these skills, all of these tools, and giving them to you online. Hi, Paula. So good to see you. So one of the things that I really am adamant about is that there's a format, there's a step-by-step structure in doing this. And to me, structure gives you freedom. And if you're just haphazard and, again, aimless, it's not going to happen quickly. It may happen, you might bump ahead, but it's going to be that you're bashed against the rocks instead of going straight to the exact results that you want. And very often, too, and then I found this out today, I did a leadership live program, and it was absolutely great. We got everybody into really creating a new vision. And many of these owners have owned their businesses for 30 years, but their vision had gotten old. So it was so exciting to get all of these. There was about 12 companies on, and we just had the greatest time. So here's the other thing, that if you know where you're going, then you've got to put the line in the sand as a leader and say, hey, if you're coming with me, great. And if you're not willing, and let me ask you this. Have you ever attempted to make an unwilling person willing? Does it work? No. If a person's unwilling, that really need to take some action and say, hey, that behavior is not acceptable. We don't do that here. But if we're not clear and we don't have a structure, guess who wins? They do. And then who suffers? You do. And then it spreads out like the rotten apple syndrome. So these are the 3 tips. And again, I'm going to be inviting you to go deeper with me if you're up for it. I have something really great to offer at the end, so stay to the end. But my clients used these 3 tips and completely shifted it around. One of them in particular has owned her business for 40 years, and she has a gentleman that's been working for her, and he is so defensive. And she was talking to me about it today with her general manager. He's so defensive. They say, we want you to be more of a team player. We want you to be more of this. And he goes, well, I am. This is what I've done. And so I said, okay, this is the way I want you to deliver it. And they used these 3 tips and turned the entire situation around. But better yet, they now have some new powerful skills. And those skills are going to last forever. And guess what's going to happen to their business? So here are the 3 tips that I have for you. First of all, don't gunny sack. If you stuff your emotions, if you are not going to express something that's not working well for you, it's going to implode in your body. Your business will reflect it. Your mind will be consumed by it. When we go into judgment, we're actually judging that person. And when you judge, how many fingers are pointing at them and how many back at ourselves? So very often we see something in another person that triggers something inside of us. But if we don't clear it and if we don't express it, then what are we communicating non-verbally to that person? They think they're doing it well. And that's where the defensiveness comes from. Well, you didn't say anything to me. Well, I didn't know. And then here's the thing. We really want to equip you with a feedback formula that has a win-win result, so that both parties win. You find out what's going on with them, and you find out ways to support them in making things go well. And they also, hi Sandy, they also joyfully give you feedback as well. Wouldn't that be great? So now the communication and the relationship is healed. And that's the other big part. There's a way to give, so the second tip is give feedback in a neutral behavioral format. In other words, if you say, like what she had done before, you're not being a team player, well, how many ways can that be interpreted? And what is it that she wanted to see differently? Well, what we want to see or hear is what we call behavior. So behavior is what you can see or hear. And so if you give feedback in terms of behavior, when you came in, I asked you to get this done, you rolled your eyes and you crossed your arms. And then you didn't even communicate, yes, I'll get it done. And also, and then you walked away and then it didn't get done. Now, that's behavior. And a person cannot refute that they rolled their eyes, they crossed their arms, so you are giving them, in a way, the feedback is paint a picture so they can see their behavior. And it is neutral. There's no judgment in that, which is great because what people react to emotionally is when they feel judged. So the formula is really important. And so here's another big tip. Start off giving feedback with I saw or I heard, so that it helps you get your brain into, well, what was that I saw and heard? And this does take some practice. It takes some skill. And this is what when we equip our managers and leaders and teams with that kind of skill, they just rock it because they know what good looks like. And then everyone is on the same page. So the other thing, the third tip, and I know I'm going fast, but I tell you what, and you can see how excited I am about this because it clears the air. Now, I'm going to just ask you this. What would we be like in life if we did not get feedback? And also, how many ways do we receive feedback every day? Well, for me, I watch Dancing with the Stars, and I'm watching my body, and how do I look compared to that person, And I mean, it's like in our minds, we're always comparing and contrasting and giving ourselves feedback. But the other thing that happened to me years ago is my family used to do a lot of gossiping. And I remember very distinctly that, and I was in my 40s, and my stepmother was kind of a troublemaker, and she started talking to my siblings a lot about me and things she was unhappy about. And what I found was that, I'd walk in the room and no one would give me eye contact. And I was like, what did I do? So for me, it's very personal, very deep. Hi, Steve. So it's deep in that if you don't get feedback from someone, how can you make the correction? And this is what relationships are all about. This is why we have relationships. It's to give and receive feedback every day and to do it in a safe place. So I'm going to tell you the rest of that story because I'm proud of myself for this. I really am. I stood up to my stepmother and out of love, but I just said, I'm not going to be here at family gatherings until you guys stop doing that. It is not fair to me. I do want to know what I've done to cause trouble. I have a huge personality. Of course I trigger emotions in people. That's, I remember my mom used to say, shut up, sit back, be quiet, blend. And I remember I tried so hard to blend, and I'm just not a blending kind of gal. That's not why I was brought on this planet. So the thing that happened was so wonderful. My stepmother got the message. It took a while, but that's okay because then it really had to come from a commitment. But the commitment was that we have no more gossip in our family. And it changed the whole dynamic, didn't it, Donna? There's my sister-in-law on there. And we watched it all happen. And we all started really coming together as a team. Yes, I know. It was just gorgeous. And we are so close as a result. And for me, that makes me more adamant, like a mother bear. If I'm going to have a team and have relationships with people, we need to make feedback the breakfast of champions. That means that there's nothing unclear, that if something happens, just like in a relationship, it takes a little bit of going back and forth until you see both pictures. And when you see both pictures, boom, you can see and create amazing results. So that's my third tip. Make it safe. Encourage feedback. Encourage receiving feedback as well as giving it. And there's nothing to be ashamed about or defensive about. It's just another person's perception. And also, one of the things I learned, because I see one of my, when I got my master's in psychology, Paula was one of my best buddies. And you know, we learned so much that receiving feedback, you have some choices about the pieces of it you're going to put into your life and the pieces that just don't fit right for you. So you have choices. It's not like a slam dunk, you have to do it exactly their way. So and I've got to tell you, when companies have this format and they know how to give feedback in terms of behavior, rather than opinions or judgment or blame, it's just a beautiful environment. And then people are safe. They feel safe to make suggestions. They start innovating, collaborating joyfully. So, and they jump up and they know that they aren't going to be blamed or chastised or judged in any way. And that they can have the freedom of self-expression. And when you've got everyone aligned toward a common goal, then you're a team, a real team. And that gives you tremendous power. So I'm just going to invite you truly to explore more of these tools and goals. This is my gift, as I shared. I'm going to be tomorrow afternoon in Pacific time, I'm doing a webinar, a free webinar, and it's 3 keys to build a legacy and to fully engage your team. And I invite you with all my heart to participate in this, and also please share with other people who maybe you've been that best friend that have heard them over the beer just telling you how miserable they are. And I'm going to say, with statistics that we've found from Forbes and from Gallup polls, it looks like 54 to 60% of employees are miserable in their jobs. And so much of that starts at the top. So that's our first focus, is to get the leaders shifting into go for the dream, go for what it is you really want to create, because that's what life is all about. Then get the people that can support that right behind you, and then you can support them. And if feedback is a part of your environment, of your culture, it becomes rich with opportunities to continue to grow and learn from each other, just like our most intimate relationships. So important. So here's the call to action. I'm going to post the link, and I'm also going to do this, I'll just tell you, on Friday as well this week, because I just really want to share this information. But if building a legacy and also fully engaging your team is important, we have tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific time, and that's 3 keys to build a legacy and fully engage a team. And then on Friday, it's going to be 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. Same webinar. I'm going to do them live. Why I like to do them live is because I always end up with Q&A at the end, so we can really fully engage. And we do them over Zoom so we can see each other, and it becomes a meeting, and it becomes rich, and we can learn from each other. So that it's just a beautiful experience. But I have so many wonderful things to share, many tools on how to use your brain more effectively, how to communicate more effectively, and literally how to create the life that you would love. And to do it from the workplace out, to me, it's magical. So will you right now, and as soon as I post this, I'm going to put the link out there. And also, I am looking forward to sharing, 32 years plus of experiences and tools that are very proprietary. Nobody does things like I have been doing them. So if you have some topics that you would suggest, I would love to do that for you. And I'm just basically doing what my experience was today, and then I'll find something beautiful to give to you. So that is my goal. Also, I do Facebook Live on Tuesdays and Thursdays around this time. So I just love having you join me, and please comment, share this, and wouldn't it be great to have a movement? This is my picture. A movement where every business there is out there, big, small, family, not, whatever, all over the world, where people are loving what they're doing. And they're doing it with a great way of expressing themselves, and that they can't wait to go to work every day. Could you imagine creating that life for everyone? That is my goal. It's a big one, but I'm on my way. And also stay tuned, because my business partner Danielle and I are writing a book, and I'm not going to give you the title yet, but it's juicy and it's absolutely great. So please, please, please be with me at the webinar tomorrow or on Friday, and share this with other people. And if you have any comments, I'll be listening too. So thank you so much for joining me today.